3, 2, 1.
What up though? We're gonna do some upgrades to the KLX110. We're gonna start with the rear suspension. The rear shock that I bought, the DNM, and it's a 350 pounder, 290 millimeter eye to eye. But you have to take all this off to get access to the bolts to the shock. So what else I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen up this rear axle so that it has play. Look at the spring difference. Okay, so that went in way too easy. We got the tall seat also. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tall seat on. All right, James is here. His truck barely fits in my driveway, but he made it. We're gonna do some graphics right now. This is the old one, he took it off. So this is the new ones.
Alright, I'm fucking video bombing. Oh, I can't do that, right? So, and then tags off like ladies' underwears. Look at that focus.
Take note, ladies. It's all about the finesse and caress. Look at that. Okay, everybody, so the update is it's the next day, and as you can see, I got the tall seat on, and you know I got the rear shock in there. So today's mods are going to be, we got to upgrade the foot pegs first, and then we're going to attempt to do the BBR racing springs and the Diamond Minis damping rods, which that might be a big deal. I don't know if I could do this by myself. So we're going to find out. A couple other things that I did was I already put on this Tusk shifter, and I did put some Emig lock-on grips on this thing. So let's get right to it, people. First, I'm gonna start with the oversized wide foot pegs. So these are the cheap version. These are not titanium or billet aluminum by any means, but they were also like $20, and they had good ratings, so we'll see how they go. But they go on like this, so I'm gonna try to pull the pins out and see what hardware that I can use that's original, or if I need to use the hardware that came with it. But look at the difference there. I got the pegs on, they're all right, kind of cheap, but whatever, better than stock, and as long as they hold up, I'm fine with it. Next is gonna be the forks. All right, so I got the actual fork tubes out, and I dropped them down. I took off the front wheel in order to do that. It wasn't so bad, it was pretty easy. You can see these are the BBRs compared to the stocks. These are gonna be much stiffer. I hope I can put these in. But next, I gotta do what is the damping rods, and the way you do that is from the bottom. You just use a 6mm, I believe it is, and they should fall out, and then we'll go from there. So let's give it a shot now that all this oil drained out. Well, this is definitely worth a mention. To break this bolt loose, it's very difficult when it's off the bike. So what I did was I used the axle for the front wheel, and it actually fit into the lower triple clamp to hold it in place, and guess what? She broke loose, baby. Woo! You keep undoing that until it falls out at the very bottom. And you can see the difference on the damping rods. You get about an inch more worth of travel. Maybe more, I don't know, we'll see. But you gotta put this spring on here and this little, I think it's like a rubber gasket on there. And then you drop it back up in there. All right, so now you can see that there's about an inch more, probably an inch and a quarter more travel. And then with the tougher springs, that's gonna come out nice. All right, so it's just time to do the other side. Next is gonna be putting in your fork oil. I chose 15 weight, and I'm gonna do about 150 milliliters. Stock is like 100. They're modified, so we're doing 150. And I'm just gonna use the measuring from the side. Nothing too fancy, just get as close as you can. Should be good enough for a bike like this. Lastly, I need to push these caps down into place and then pop these little C-clips in there. So from what I understand is people put them in the lower fork like this and push down and get it. So let's see if I can get this by myself. This is probably truly the hardest part of this whole job, but I assume I can get it. So this fork leg should be done. I was able to push that down, no problem. I mean, I'm a pretty strong guy. So I just gotta add fluid to the other side and then push that spring down and then button up the bike. It's worth noting when you're using this triple clamp to hold the fork in place, not to have it all the way to the top. Makes it harder to put that plunger in, that end cap, if this is being squeezed on. So just leave about 1 inch there and you should be good to go. Okay, so everything is buttoned back up and the forks are awesome. They are definitely a little bit taller and it's definitely way stiffer, which is awesome. So it feels really good. What I want to do is, I took this off real quick because I'm going to adjust the preload to stiffen up the rear one. I didn't adjust it yesterday when I put the rear shock in, but I'm going to do it now just to make it a little bit stiffer. As you can see, it's all the way up. This needs to be about halfway. Okay, suspension is all set. It feels really good. Last thing to do is throw on these fender decals. Just like that. So, but don't worry, I'm gonna, get full decals for this thing anyway. Something else I'm gonna do is, this actually came off this bike. I could not use this brake cable guide because with the new forks, it was too tight. So I rerouted it and we're good there for the brake cable. But guess what? This is gonna go on this bike since I've been missing one. Okay, so that worked out pretty good. It's not perfect, but that'll work for now. All right, so I'm gonna do my rear brake pads, which are very easy. You don't have to take off the wheel or anything. You just have this main bolt right here that you take this out. I put these brake pads on like, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, and they're already down to nothing. It was almost metal on metal, so that's why I'm gonna put OEMs in there now, because these aftermarket cheap ones, I'll never do that again. OEM brake pads from here on out. All right, so you can clearly see that these brake pads are pretty fried. This side wasn't so bad, but by the way, this little rubber piece goes on here if you guys are wondering. And just like that, we got them freshies. So that's gonna wrap it up, guys, for this video. The only thing I'm gonna do next is my air filter because we're riding tomorrow. So on that note, thanks for watching and stay tuned.